The wife disliked her husband's courtyard house in Beijing for being old and shabby. She decided to abandon her husband and child, and followed her lover to Myanmar to seek opportunities, because she heard that being a waitress there could earn tens of thousands a month. Her lover sold his own courtyard house in Beijing for a sky-high price of $100,000 and mocked the man, saying he was destined to live in this old and broken courtyard for life. The son grabbed his mother's hand and begged her not to leave, but the woman shook him off without hesitation. Little did they know, after they left, China's economy would soar rapidly, and the courtyard house that was sold for $100,000 would skyrocket to 200 million yuan. 15 years later, in the blink of an eye, they returned from Myanmar flaunting their success. They had bought a $100,000 car in Myanmar and had savings of $200,000. They came back intending to show off to the man, but they didn't realize the man had become the chairman of a corporation dealing in billion-dollar businesses every day. When his ex-wife and her lover showed up, they started mocking him immediately, sneering at how, after 15 years, he was still stuck with the old and broken courtyard house. She smugly said it was a good thing she had left him back then, or she would have ended up living a country bumpkin's life. At that moment, the man's phone rang. A rent payment of $20,000 had just been deposited. The lover ridiculed the man, saying that even an entire year of rent was only worth $20,000, unaware that this was just the rent for one single room in the courtyard per month. The entire courtyard generated $80,000 in monthly rent. The ex-wife then condescendingly offered to buy the courtyard for $300,000. The man chuckled coldly and said, this was a courtyard house located in Beijing's central district, and they clearly had no idea of the current property market. The woman refused to believe him, arguing that no matter how expensive the house was, it couldn't be worth more than $300,000. At that moment, their son returned home on an old bicycle. The woman felt sorry for him, assuming he had suffered greatly, unaware that the bicycle was worth $10,000. The ex-wife tried to persuade the son to study in Japan, claiming that education in China was inferior to Myanmar, and that staying with his poor father would lead to no future. The son rejected her without hesitation, saying that the domestic development was very good now. Unrelenting, the woman continued to mock the man, calling his business small and insignificant. The son didn't know how to respond, so he looked to his father for help. The man simply said he had another business meeting to attend, and told the son to make his own decision. Just then, the man's phone rang again. The caller was William, the lover's boss, but the ex-wife dismissed it, thinking it was just someone with the same name. The woman then tried to invite her son out for a lavish meal. The son, who wanted nothing to do with her, declined, saying he had classes in the afternoon. Soon, the man went to a hotel to discuss business. Meanwhile, the ex-wife and her lover were still house hunting. They inquired about the price of a property. The sales agent informed them that the average price was 80,000 to 90,000 yuan per square meter. A 130 square meter unit would cost around 11 million yuan in total. The woman and her lover were rendered speechless, shocked by how expensive real estate had become. They then thought of the man's courtyard house, believing that old houses must still be affordable, but they had no idea that the courtyard house they once mocked was now